Welcome everybody to welcome everybody to Who Fire. I am your host Matrix Lord 212. So there's been a lot of stuff said since August, and as you know, um, as I said before, I was taken off guard initially when Noel had said stuff to me on Twitter, and while you know stuff's gone back and forth every single day, weeks, months, and now it's almost a year since that event. A lot of the words were said, and I'm not here to basically show who's right or wrong, but I'm just here to say how I felt and what I have done wrong as well. Nobody's perfect, and I know that. Um, Maybe things could have been handled differently. Maybe he could have reached out to me if he had a problem with me and messaged me or called me if he really thought I was going after his friends. We would have talked. But I never thought he should have left the Hoovian community back when there was a time that he might have, and we were friends. I had tried to talk him out of leaving the Hoovian community. I said that he should continue. I I tried to give him encouragement. I take things very seriously when I am friends with somebody, and I mean things. Okay, I'm a blunt person, like he's a blunt person. Um, I just felt that was the wrong course of action. Him to me, it felt like him being on a stage on a podium screaming from the rooftops coming after me. It wasn't like a friend having a problem with me. It was grandstanding, I thought. Uh, like I said, there could have been ways to go about doing things. I did not like that. I did not agree with that. I did see him as a friend genuinely, regardless of what he thinks of me, no. And I did find that as a betrayal, but let's move on. I didn't take kindly to call me a liar and a grifter. And again, that's stuff he did on his own. And only I could be in charge of my actions connected with that. I never thought that he should not talk about Doctor Who. In fact, if he looked at his old messages, he will tell you I always encouraged him to not give up and talk about Doctor Who. I may not agree with his style. I may not agree with what he says, but I respect what he says and does. I just didn't like it that I felt I was backed into a corner, that my opinion didn't matter and my news didn't matter. And like I was bossed around, and I've always had a problem with people bossing me around or trying to boss me around or trying to bully me if that's my opinion that I thought he bullied me. The reason why I am doing this video, I did want him to come in here because for some weird reason, and I really can't explain it, whenever we have banter and whenever we go back and forth to each other, and then sometimes that we actually talk on Twitter. I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but we started talking normal to each other. And then when you're talking civilly and you're talking normally, you realize with a clear head what, well, I can only speak for me. I can't speak for him. I can't speak for Noel. But I realize things that I have said and done that maybe in anger and rage about the situation, I reacted wrongfully. Maybe I could have handled things better. Um, but the certain things you could say to each other may trigger the other person more than you would ever expect. And then some things you would think would be important to that person is not. That being said, I did want to give him the respect to come in here so I could tell it to his face what I have to say as an apology on certain things. And I did invite him in here. I don't have people come on these things to battle. As much as like Who Fire, we've had it in the past. Anytime that we've had a Who Fire in the past, and if Noel was a part of that when he was a friend, I've always tried to piece the ways, especially when we had John the White in here that time, when we had Doctor Who Chad in here at the time, David Travels Through Time. Many different things I had to try to piece the waves with, say, David Travels Through Time and Sudeiko and other things, and trying to basically have this as a thing for peace, not really for war, even though it's called Fire, meaning Who Fire. And I can't expect him to apologize for certain things, even though I felt it. And I'm not going to go on and on and on about it. The purpose of this is not for him to come in here and apologize to me. It's for me to tell him to his face an apology. Okay. Again, I'm not perfect. I don't try to be perfect. Okay. He did get me pissed off to where I called Noel a Nazi. And that's really wrong. And that I apologize for. And he wanted me to do a video about it, and I would have rather have done this live stream and have him in here for a minute to tell him to his face as a man. But I can understand him not coming in here because it is the wee hours of the morning over there. I would think it's 5 hours more. So it's probably like 1 or 2 a.m. So we don't want to wake people up. So I respect that he can't come in here. So let's just talk things. I've always had a problem with, and again, I'm blunt and he's blunt, and I can't speak for him. I can only speak for me. But if you're my friend, you're my friend, and I do everything for you, and I whatever. I really saw him as a friend, even though he didn't see me as one. Okay. At the time, I think I was making videos going after people that were doom and gloom that I felt, against Doctor Who. Wasn't going after his friends, at least I don't think so. I was just saying in general, not like a general statement, not going directly after an individual, But I've always been about Doctor Who. That's what this channel was created, was because of Doctor Who, because of my love for Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who to pieces. I probably love Doctor Who more than most people. It is the huge thing a part of me. This YouTube channel would not be created had it not been for my love for Doctor Who. Okay. I used to go on forums. I was Matrix Lord 2 and 2. I created the YouTube channel, but I didn't make any videos. I wasn't ever going to make any videos. I was a big, huge sci-fi nerd. And I took the name Matrix Lord 212 from the Matrix of Gallifrey, from the Trial of the Time Lord, from the Matrix with the Transformers. And there's been a lot of different sci-fi things with the word Matrix in it. And even the Matrix movies, but that wasn't really from that. But I felt, because I was a nut with sci-fi, that I was the Matrix Lord of sci-fi. Okay. And 212 is my birthday, February 12th. I never was going to do videos until my two friends were pushing me into doing videos, and they said you would be fantastic on here if you did videos on Doctor Who. Now, I was camera shy and I was scared. And that's weird because, but then again, I was never really in front of the camera like a video before. I don't think. I mean, maybe a couple when I was a kid or something, but so I was kind of didn't know what to say, and I was like, "Oh, quiet, Matrix was doing too high, quiet." And then I started getting louder and louder and louder until I'm too loud sometimes. But I broke the ice and I um, made videos about Doctor Who, and then I could never shut the fuck up. Honestly, I could never shut the fuck up. Honestly, I actually pissed off. I talk loud. I'm sorry, and even people in the house sometimes piss people off. I didn't mean to. I'm just happy. I was talking about Doctor Who, and and I actually was such a nut that, and again, I'm not. There's no ego. I'm not looking to. I'm not looking to brag here. I'm just talking. I'm just trying to cut it, like just basically be down to earth with you guys. But again, I've been on. Let's flash forward. I don't want. I'm losing the whole plot. So from 2011 till now, blah blah blah. August happened. I got caught off guard. Tit for tat, back and forth. Stuff got ugly with me and Noel. But still, whatever way he does and does things, we both should handle things better, but I can only speak for me. And I know that the phrase Nazi really bothers me. Okay. So I should have thought that it would have bothered him too. Okay. And that was wrong of me that in anger I just said that. You say things in anger. So I do apologize to Noel, the Tardis zone, for calling him a Nazi. Another thing that he's probably not expecting, but I've always was with pets and dogs and stuff like that. And I could be a real dick and a jerk sometimes. I do love Ted the dog, and I have nothing against the dog, and I do apologize to Noel about Ted the dog and saying stuff about Ted the dog. Because I was a dog owner and I was always had dogs and I always loved dogs and I always loved, you know, um, loved dogs and pets, and that's why I probably went into the pet industry really to learn about nutrition and stuff. So, what a dick Matrix Lord 212 is to fucking talk about that. I mean, come on, regardless of a battle or a war with each other, talk about a fucking person's dog. He's a dick. Matrix Lord 212 is a dick. I'm a dick. I could be a real dick. I understand that. And even I think I'm a dick, and I think I go too far sometimes. But I admit when I fucking go too far. I do. I do. So I don't know if he's seeing this right now. Maybe Bobby's seeing it because they're going back and forth on Twitter or whatever. Yeah, so I was a real dick about the whole dog thing. That's fucking stupid. I mean, but of course that bothered him. It would bother me too. Somebody fucking told me some shit about how I take care of my fucking dog. I'd be fucking angry. But we said things to each other to hurt each other, and certain things would bother stuff to each other more than usual. I mean, when it was getting personal, like I guess the whole Nazi thing affected him, just like maybe he went after me because I'm trying to make some shit about my kid. Now, first of all, Oh, hey Kay, how you doing? I If you look at the majority of my videos, it- like out of all the 15,000 videos, maybe there was a couple of videos that the kids were in, and then I was worried about their welfare and being protected from the internet, and I never had them on here, okay? Because I wanted to protect them, you know, from everything, you know. So, I mean, I think we did a video about Avengers. I think we did a video about Dark Shadows. I think we did maybe a couple of videos. But I've always been trying to be the best dad I could be. I've always tried to protect them, and I didn't want them exposed to any of this crap. Now, as far as that whole video, I guess that Noel was picking about the scammer thing, there was a scammer that was famous on the news that he scammed people with the IRS and all this stuff. And it was funny because when that came out afterwards, I'm like, oh, I made a video about that. And I had it in private for a long time on my personal channel that I just used to watch stuff. Just no videos, no nothing. But I had some videos on there in private. But I'm like, that's the son of a bitch, that IRS scammer that was on the news. That's the voice, that's the guy. So what happened was when I was the office manager of Vascular Epicenter, on my break, this guy called us while we're eating. We're on break, right? So it's me, a niece is my tech guy and everything. So I'm like, oh, this is great. One, we're on break, and two, this guy is calling while we're on break. That's perfect. I'm gonna fucking film this shit. So I go to my tech guy, and he's O'Day, right? So I go to him like, we're doing the video, and I'm like, whatever. And the guy had us on hold for fucking minutes, right? So I'm like, oh, this is my lawyer. And then I go, Jay O'Day. Now, I said O'Day because that's his last name, but I just said Jay because, like, I had created the thing Puppet Jay, the Puppet Lord, whatever. So I was like, Jay, right? So I'm like, oh, just, your name's Jay O'Day. He's like, Jay O'Day. Now, it's funny. I got sprung it on him. He didn't know what to say, whatever. But it was a funny thing. I didn't think that Noel was gonna make an accusation that was my kid. It wasn't my kid. My kid, get out of here. That was at work. So, but I said it, and it's like still, then all of a sudden it's your bad dad, you this, you that. No, like my kid's not it. I could have at any point in time got Joe on here and clarified it, but I don't need to do that. Why do I need to? I'm not gonna bring my kids in here and make a video. Oh, I didn't. My dad didn't use me. I don't need to do that. And I really need. I don't know why I was even going back and forth with Noel tonight trying to prove to him. Like, I don't need to prove it because I know. But for some reason, I kept sending him videos. I don't know. And then, he removed the video about talking about my kid. Look, there's a lot of things said, and it's true. Leave family out of it, leave wives out of it, leave pets out of it, leave kids out of it. I agree with him. And going forward, want to make this video this stream, to do the right thing on my part. And look, like I said, I am understanding that everybody could have their opinion about Doctor Who. Okay. I believe we agree that Billie Piper is not the Doctor, nor should she be. And I'm well aware that my outburst about that, I know that my outburst about that pissed off Russell T Davies. And I didn't care because I was pissed. But then I also found out some things, and then I was not aware that I was going to be silenced in my Doctor Who stuff. I couldn't talk about things. I might get into that one day, but Not happy about that. It's so weird, but I love Doctor Who, and I think everybody knows that. But I also know, just because I like Russell and I want him to run the show, I don't agree with everything he does. Now, I was just talking to Noel on Twitter, and I was saying, look, I don't know how the fuck this happened, but we were talking civilly, and I'm like, he won me over, man. He fucking brought Sutek back. That's my guy. That was my first fucking guy, man. My first villain. That is where a time traveler would travel back in time and prevent me from watching Doctor Who and change my timeline, as if they went back in time to that moment where I was watching Pyramids of Mars, and they would prevent me from watching it. That if you had an evil time travel, that's what would happen. But seeing him again after so long, I was hooked. Now, I have to say, I loved the first part, and I constantly watch that a lot. That gives me chills. I just love that whole thing about it, right? The second part, I really expected Sutek to transform from that creature back into his original form, and it didn't happen. That I wasn't happy with. I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the resolution with Ruby Sunday. I wasn't happy the way they defeated Sutek. I wasn't happy with the second part. And again, while I liked it, I wasn't happy with that. I definitely wasn't happy with the Omega thing. And I definitely wasn't happy with the Ronnie thing. But shit happens, right? And again, I'm not happy. I basically said what I didn't like. And I don't know if he's watched my shit. I've watched his shit. So I did not. Okay, so there was another thing that happened that like I'll go over to. Ultimately, like this video is to clarify an apology to Noel about the Nazi thing and the TED thing, and when it started getting really personal. Okay. I can't speak for him, so I'm not going to speak for him. If he wanted to come on and talk, I would not. I have rules. I will not battle him. That's not my intention. I'm not here to upstage him. I'm not here to battle him. I gave him the respect to send him the link, but not to battle him. I wanted to do it in person, doing the right thing. And I may still feel the way I feel. That may not change. I don't like how it all went down, but it went down. Okay. And this is not about anybody else. This is just me and Noel. All right. And going forward, that's it. No more of this shit. Okay. And I know it doesn't speak for anybody else. This is just, between me and him. And again, I thinking about it, the Nazi thing, I can understand why it bothered him, because just like in the past, when I think I told you guys that there was going to be a thing at the time to fund the Puppet Master movie, which I'm a huge fan of the Puppet Master stuff, right? I think I told you guys enough times, right? When I was looking into it about what it really entailed, you do a donation, you get to be in the movie, fine, but guess who you had to play? A Nazi. I'm never going to play a Nazi, period. So absolutely not would I ever donate to that, because I would never want that. So I can understand why he's got pissed about that now. Never in a million years. I don't care how much money they offer me, I would never play a Nazi as an actor. Ever. I have my principles, just like, everybody else does. So, yeah, he's right. I guess I could understand how he feels about that. That he just really got upset about that. And, So anyway, Look, as far as, egos goes, everybody has egos. Um, but I'm not here to talk about anything other than the main topic is he wanted a video about apologizing for the Nazi thing, so this is that. Okay. We may never get the answers we want, or we may never get the apologies we want for different things, but I have to do the right thing by me, and I hope that it's accepted. There you go. As far as the um, talk on a side view about other things, uh, certain things bother me. I'm not asking anything of him, but uh, whenever I say the news of Doctor Who, I have heart. Okay, and my heart is promoting Doctor Who and showing my love for Doctor Who and giving you guys the news that I got the news. And in answer to Noel, I do admit when I'm wrong, when I feel I'm wrong. I was played with the ring-a-ding news that was given to me about Mark Gatiss being voiced for ring-a-ding. Now, Marty supplied that information to me because that's what they showed the press. And in that instance, Marty was the source, and he didn't mean to. He didn't know he was lied to. And when I reported that, and then when it came out that it was not Mark Gatiss and that it was Alan Cummings, I took things very personal because I do not want ever to deceive my audience when it comes to me giving the Doctor Who news. And I flat out made a video and I said, I'm wrong. It's big as life, and I'm sorry. And I was probably not going to do any news, period. And I don't know if it's anything that Marty did afterwards, because I know that Marty had a lot of run-ins with Russell, and I don't know if he said anything to him, but immediately the next day, Russell had made a statement that he deceived the public, giving false information about the voice of Ring-a-Ding because they wanted to protect, and surprise everybody with the real actor. So basically, he said anybody that reported, whatever they got from the press, it's my fault that I lied to them, and they're not really at fault. So I felt kind of justified that and felt better that I was vindicated, but I still did not like that. I did not like that. I kind of felt used. So that started me questioning things a lot more. I mean, not real, like what my source from the BBC is, not really too much with that, but it started turning things in my head, you know? And I also saw when we were seeing the episodes, I started to feel that maybe Russell was saying stuff to my source to leak to me so that way could stir up some shit. That I can't prove. Because it seemed to me like he wanted people to battle about Doctor. He wanted to create the ascension and shit. And he's fully aware, Russell. And I've said this, but people don't understand it. Russell T. Davies watches me, the Tardis Zone, everybody. Russell T. Davies watches everyone. Okay? He's fully aware of Nerdrotic. He's fully aware of Rest in Peace Doctor Who hashtag that Nerdrotic had started. And that's why he put it in the episode. I was pissed about that, and I think Everybody knew I was pissed about that. I was pissed that he fucking disrespected the show by putting his dirty laundry bullshit in the episode. He's grimy about shit. He's angry about shit. I was pissed that he said that there were Whovians and that they even had fucking dialogue with the Doctor and what's your favorite episode. That pissed me off more than anything. And I said that. That is the lowest thing to happen to Doctor Who, next to the Timeless Child, is to say that Doctor Who was a television show. And even though they changed it a little bit afterwards, still pissed about that. So I started to feel, you know what, we're being played. I'm being played, Noel's being played, we're all being played, we're all being, something's going on where people are leaking shit purposely. Like, come on, you're leaking actual shit that's happening in the episode. Actually, word for word, almost fucking exact. Something's going on. Something's weird. Okay? So I started feeling, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep talking about Doctor Who news because I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like I'm being a goddamn fucking outlet. And what if I'm being lied to? Honestly. Because then that's going to ruin my integrity. And as much as me and Noel are fighting and he was calling me a liar and a grifter, I'm really not a liar and a grifter. And 100% to this day, telling you, Shooty was staying. Okay? That was happening. Season 3 was happening. The scripts were handed in. Motherfucker wrote the Cybermen Dalek episode. Okay? Still, say this to this day. Right now. And shit went wrong. Real fast. Shit went wrong with the Millie Gibson thing. And I gotta tell you, when I saw the last episode, I was done with Doctor Who. And I was like, oh, tell my son to carry on and do the Rehovians. That I cursed out. I was flipping about the Billy Piper thing. And I don't know if Noel's aware of this, and I know his people probably watched the Rehovians because I was the one that said on the Rehovians that I was the one timestamp that said that Russell gave the finger to the fans. And I said shit about that. And I was angry about that. And I don't take that back with Russell. I feel that way, and I said that. And I understand that he always liked everything I said on his Instagram, and it was always a friendly thing. And I had sent him private messages and stuff. And he always liked my stuff. And I understand that he was not happy with me. But you know what? I wasn't happy with him either. Sorry. But not sorry. Okay? At the end of the day, I want Doctor Who to continue. I don't want Doctor Who off the air. Now, it's the weirdest thing, but when I was done with Doctor Who and, Joe was going to take over the Rehovians cast, it's funny how my source called me on fucking Facebook Messenger. That's from the BBC. Knowing that I'm probably going to be done. And had a conversation with me for like fucking an hour. Right? And trying to tell me or convince me that it's not Russell's fault. You don't understand what happened with Millie Gibson and, he had to fire her. We wanted her fired. Besides what he wanted, we really wanted her fired. The shit that she was pulling. But that affected the scripts. That affected the things. It's not his fault. All that stuff that was supposed to be the resolution was not the way it was supposed to go down. So I'm listening and I'm like, okay, And then he's like, all the shit that was going on besides Millie Gibson with Shooty, with getting job offers, with Disney Plus, fucking, Dragon Tail, causing a fucking massive problem. And again, Shooty thought he was going to do season 3. Right? And went on to say it on Graham Norton. But what we didn't know behind the scenes is that, he asked for a raise um, for the second time. And Disney and everybody was concerned because they didn't give him an answer yet that he was going to flip the fuck out. So they thought they were going, they were going to have some shit with him. So they stopped that from airing. They put a stop to that because they thought, after their conversation, that was going to be the end of him, or he's going to quit, or whatever's going to happen. So they had a conversation afterwards, like, what the fuck? Why'd you cut my shit? Whatever, blah. And then it was, stuff was said, and that they're waiting for the decision. And he's like, I can't wait. They're like, we're not going to give you a raise. That you're lucky you got the last raise, and blah blah blah. And this doesn't happen with other doctors, and we're involved too, and blah blah blah. And it was like a whole thing where, how long do you expect me to wait? I'm losing money here. And it's like, you should let me out of my contract because it's not fair. And then they thought about it, and they're like, you know what, you're right. If you want to be out of the contract, you're out of the contract. If that's what you want, we don't want you disgruntled. Now, maybe he wasn't expecting that. I don't know what he was expecting, but shit went down where after he was done with the play, he was supposed to film season 3. And of course, he did film, but he filmed the regeneration. And that's not what he filmed, season 3. Everything got fucked up. Okay? Everything got fucked up. Everything got fucked up because they fired her, but then they had to hire her back. The scripts got fucked up. She was probably going to die in the finale, and then they would have something with her in season 3 that she's, coming back to life as a god or something, because that's what I kept being told, that fucking she's dying, and shit got totally fucking weird and fucked up. And I'm like, how is this unrecognizable to what's going on? But anyway, the doctor was supposed to get killed fighting the Daleks. That was supposed to be the last goddamn thing. It was supposed to be connected with the Mavity thing. It was supposed to be timeline changing, blah, 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 whatever. Human Davros, whatever. And then it gets fixed, and Davros is back to normal, but the doctor dies and has to regenerate. That's the way it's supposed to be. Uh-oh. Am I getting silenced by the BBC? Oh no! Am I getting silenced by Disney Plus? Oh no! No. So anyway, this whole thing we know with Billy Piper was a goddamn fucking hodgepodge. They told me on the phone. He fucking called her, could you please? But I'm absolutely sure. No fucking plan whatsoever. No fucking plan whatsoever. She wasn't supposed to be the doctor, was just no fucking plan. That's just throwing in there, creating doubt, not knowing what the fuck's going on, getting people hooked to talk about it as long as possible, but whatever. Behind the scenes, Disney Plus wanted what they wanted. I'm not a negotiator. I can't say if Russell's right, if the BBC's right, if Disney Plus is right. They offered season 3. That wasn't good enough. He wanted season 3 and 4. They said, well, fuck you. Who knows? Right? They wanted a back catalog. They didn't have it then. They would have gave them 2 seasons if they got the back catalog. They were going to give 1 back catalog. I guess they said no, whatever. I can't question it. I would have just took the season 3, fuck it, and then we'll go. I can't say yes or no to that. That's not my place. I don't know anything to do with that, how that works. I can't say right or wrong. I just want Doctor to continue. I still feel, look, I don't like stuff that Russell does with certain things. We agree to disagree. Okay. I'm not happy that the way he sees America. I'm not happy the way he sees the politics of America. I'm not happy where this bullshit about Americans are evil or fucking Trump is evil, all this shit. I fucking don't want to hear that shit. Like that's, you know, I, you're gonna cause change in America. I'm not. Look, man, keep the fucking politics out of this shit. You're not gonna create change here in my country. That's where we differ. Me and Russell. You're not gonna do goddamn fucking thing to change my shit. I don't care about changing your shit. Stay out of it. But you think you could speak like that? We're not enemies in America here. Okay, we're supposed to be friends with the UK. I don't go for that bullshit. Especially that's not doctorish anyway. And then, Sylvester McCoy getting into it too with the politics bullshit. I wasn't, that's why I was holding Sylvester McCoy. I was not feeling that shit at all. So which mean that account had an exchange to which Sensphere put me on Sensphere because of that time. Anyway, long story short, this is just going into different tangents to where I didn't want it to go. The only purpose of this Who Fire was, I'm sorry, Noel, for calling you a Nazi. Sorry about the Ted thing, and let's move on, and that's it. So I apologize to Noel from Tardis on that, and I accept his apology with including my son in that stuff that my son was never part of. I don't want family involved. He doesn't want family involved. We agree. He could do whatever he wants in his stuff. I could do whatever I want in my stuff. I just don't want to be told. I don't like to be told what to do, just like he doesn't like to be told what to do. And when I feel like I'm backed into a corner like that, I act like a wild animal. It's a natural reaction. When I was a kid, and I was the only one in the goddamn fucking school that knew what Doctor Who was, and I got my friend involved in it. And when people were playing Star Wars figures, I was playing Doctor Who, and I was made fun of, and I was beat up in the school playground over Doctor Who by bullies. Like, actually, the shit kicked out of me. Fucking bruises and everything, and I took the beatings, and I never liked bullying from that. And I didn't give a fuck that I got beat up. I didn't give a fuck I got triple teamed. I love Doctor Who. Fuck off. And I may have bled, and I may have whatever, but I didn't ever tolerate bullies. And maybe that's why I'm very sensitive when I feel that I'm being bullied. I have those memories and those reactions because I was actually beat up for Doctor Who. So, whatever. Maybe that's wrong of me to thinking like that. I don't know. That's the way I think. So, if I feel like I'm backed into the corner, I'm backed in the corner, and that's the way I react. And that's the way it's always going to be. I can't change that. That's it. A lot of things too. Like there's a lot of people that are loyal to me. There's a lot of people that are loyal to him. And we can't control what people do. He can't control what his people do. I can't control what my people do. I try to make it like it's just between me and him. My group not can get involved. But then when shit happens, then they got involved. And then it became a big mess. But despite all the stuff that we've battled about, the one thing I guess bothered me in his favor was I don't agree with the person that was attacking my gaming streams and flagging him. Just like I didn't like, even though we were enemies, that someone was flagging his shit because of a stupid fucking countdown. So I think that's why I was just talking to him civilly, not battling, but just be like, how could you not know that, your shit was flagged? Not being disrespectful, but like, how could you not know? And then when he told me he didn't, I'm like, well, it's the settings on YouTube. It's annoying, the settings, right? But if you want to be fucking harassed 24/7, you put the notification on to be alerted every single time something happens on YouTube with your channel. And let me tell you, it is annoying, right? Because they will tell you, they will send shit on your phone constantly. This one send a comment. You can't distinguish it from everything. You can't separate it. So once you put the notification on, you get alerts of everything. So that's why anytime every one of my videos got flagged, I knew about it because I got harassed by it because I allowed it. So maybe he turned it off. But that's why I said, just change your settings. And again, even though, we are enemies, as creators, I'm like, that's fucked up that happened to you. That's why, I understand tit for tat, we go back and forth to each other, but I really get offended when, like, people just get the whole situation wrong with me and him. And to make it like I would fucking do that, because of a countdown, that's ridiculous. Now, again, as far as the flagging goes of me and him, I absolutely flagged his channel because on my YouTube channel it says Matrix Lord 212. It doesn't say my name on my YouTube channel, Joseph J. Capriccioso, right? If I wanted it to say Joseph J. Capriccioso, I would put it on my YouTube channel to say that. So when he was sharing shit that said from Twitter or whatever, and I kept it separately. There's a reason why I would have my name attached to Twitter and not attached to my YouTube channel, right? So when he showed Joseph J. Capriccioso, that's privacy. I'm like, I don't want my fucking full name shown on your YouTube channel. Just like I wouldn't expect your last name to be shown on my fucking channel either. So that's a privacy thing, and that's what I still feel is right. Not that I felt it was wrong to do that. I don't feel it was false. I just didn't want my fucking name showed on YouTube. And yes, I understand that I'm a public figure. And what he has to understand is, like, when you're a YouTuber, things go public. Now, look, regardless, to change the topic, people created a lot of fake shit about me. And the problem is that it was up there for a while to where people actually believed it. And I could not get it taken down. And the person that put that stuff up there, Who War Strikes Back, which is Kate Priest, did that, but she's not a fan of Noel. And when Noel was using her own pages against me, that's when she took them all down. And I could not get it down for nothing. So Noel kind of was responsible for finally that shit coming down because she didn't like him. Nothing against, that's just the way it was. Someone had tried to mimic her stuff and create all new Wikipedia pages, but really harsh and harmful about me. And thanks to her, that was taken down because that's crazy. And again, look, we're going to be on YouTube. We're going to get people that are just want to silence both of us. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. But people go overboard. And a lot of times, if I'm attacked, I respond, and people do not like my responses. Nobody does. Because I could be a real dick, and I just see red. So, the moral to the story is, it's good to have an open mind, and at some point in time, when the dust clears and you have a calm period, it's the stupidest thing. We just talking not calmly about those fucking idiots flagging both of our channels. It's good that things were resolved with me and Noel. I feel. So, not going to mention him again. And that's why I invited him in here. Not to be, this wasn't a thing. I'm not looking to, because I would have went on his cast if he wanted it to be, to say it. He didn't ask me of that. He just wanted me to make a video, so I wanted to do it in person. But that's why I invited you. Sorry I invited you. I didn't mean to violate any personal things, send it to your personal. I unblocked you on Facebook. That's why to send you those videos of a niece. Which I understand you deleted the video, but I really want you to watch those videos and really listen, because it is a niece voice, not my kid. So it would be important to me if you really research that, because that means a lot to me. Regardless of you removing it, just believing it, because, whatever. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. Anyway, that resolves me and Noel. And whatever I can't control things about, people may not like I have gray hair. People may not like I have missing hair. I am not selfish. And I would rather pay a bill than maintenance. We'll put the money where it needs to be. I understand, and I agree with everyone. I don't like the way I look either. Didn't ask for that to be. When I had the last job, I was let go, and I always worked on the weekends, and I put off all these surgeries that I was supposed to have done on the teeth. And I was an idiot, because I was loyal, and I was like working. I was working hurt. I was really hurt. I got hurt on the job, and I messed up my shoulders, and I was still unloading trucks like an idiot, and my body was breaking down. But I was still not going to call out. Still, dedicated, and still, oh, they need me. They need me to come in. They need me to come in. They need me to come in. Oh, this one called out. They need me. I can't. Got to open the store. Got to open the store. Got to close the store. Got to close the store. I was always closing the store, not opening it. I'm sorry, closing the store. Got to close the store. Oh, they need me Friday. They need me Saturday. Oh, they need me on Thanksgiving. They need me on Christmas. I worked the holidays. So shit started falling apart in my life, where I wasn't going to movies like I always was. Love to do. Stuff that I love to do, I wasn't doing. Didn't really see that. Just trying to make the money. And I had approved all the surgeries, and I figured, oh, I'll get it done. I'll reschedule. My company wasn't doing well. Big company. They kept cutting our payroll. And then they're making it where full-time workers can't support the payroll that they cut. So then they were trying to play fucking games, where they were like, you got to go to this store if you want to have 8 hours. You want to go down? What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking going on. That's my fucking store. Fuck going to another store. Fuck that. Well, you got to do this. What do I fuck got to do that for? Now, I worked at both. I worked at the pharmacy part. I worked at the regular part. What are you fucking forcing me for? I'm fucking here for 5 fucking years. You're treating us like shit. Do everything for this place. Are you crazy? I have a mouth. You know it on YouTube. I'm blunt. I fucking said this bullshit with stuff. They came in, made a false accusation, and wasn't happening. And of course, because I was a loss prevention investigator in the past, I'm like, let me investigate my own case. They didn't like that, and they suspended me so that way I was not allowed to investigate my case. That's some shit. But I was able to investigate it anyway. I was able to find out the customer, the transaction, everything. Called up the customer directly. Customer was the CEO of a company. He tried to make some bullshit accusation at all my years in the register that I gave him shit for free, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous, because I fucking would stop thieves. I would put my life on the line. Different shit. They would have me sign shit all the time. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. There was one time a person in the store that had a gun and was going to shoot my coworker that was a manager as well. And I distracted that person, said that she was that way, and then I grabbed my friend and I locked her in the fucking office because I wanted to protect her because she had kids. And then I was trying to protect my other friend, Dave, because he kept mouthing off to her. Like, she was stealing this lady, So I protected the one friend of mine, locked her in the office. And even though she was pissed at me, I'm like, no, I want you saved. You have kids. And then, I'm dealing with this fucking lady and she showed me the gun and everything. And I'm telling my friend to shut the fuck up behind the counter. I'm like, shut up, you're pissing her off. And my friend David's like, there's cameras, lady. We caught you. I'm like, shut the fuck up. So, like, I had to deal with that. And I said, look, man, like, just, you know what? What is your problem? She's like, what? I was like, just take your Dove soap and all this stuff that you have and just get out. And she's like, what? I'm like, what do you give it? She's like, I want this bitch said this and this. She was saying, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what she said. I was like, I'm not going to let you hurt any of my friends. You have to fucking shoot me. I don't give a fuck. I said, but leave now. While I let you fucking leave. Because if you don't leave in fucking few minutes, I'm going to think they're in danger. That's it. She's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, no, yeah, I'm crazy, but look, it's not that serious, man. You know what? Take your fucking shit and go. And I told my manager everything. They said I did the right thing. They should have fucking gone with, they don't want to be in trouble. They don't want to get hurt. So she just took her shit and left. But I wasn't fired for that. No, because that's what you're supposed to do in policy and procedure. I was fired because they wanted to screw with us and they didn't want to pay us as full-time workers. So they made a false accusation on me that a customer gave shit away. And I proved my case. I got everything proven. And you know what they told me at the end? After 2 months, they fired me. Actually, it was right after St. Joseph's. It was like around my birthday, St. Joseph's Day, whatever, fucked up, right? They fired me. And I proved that they were wrong. So naturally, I tried to get my job back because I'm like, oh, you guys did it, so I want to go back. And they said, oh, well, you work in New York. You know what that means. What does that mean? Well, your work, you sign a paper in New York City that we could fire you for anything. And even if we're wrong, and even if we wrongfully fired you, we don't have to hire you back. And there's nothing really you can do about it. We're a multi-billion-dollar company, and basically go fuck yourself. In so many words, like fuck off. And you can't collect unemployment. You can't collect anything. Now, I'm like, oh, of course. Matrix 2 and 2. That's who I am. And I'm Joseph J. Capriccioso. One and the same. They're not a character. So, of course, just like a dick responding, like getting mad, I'm like, well, I'm a fucking fuck you motherfuckers. I'm going to take you to court and everything. All right, go ahead. And I was going to. And then I started getting sick because I never got these surgery done when I was supposed to get them done. Those months after. And the infection, that was the fear. The infection from the teeth would go to the heart. So I started getting sick, and sick, very sick. I lost all my coverage, so I could not get no dental work done. And it took me a long time to get a new coverage. My fault. Nobody else's fault on that. And of course I tried to repair my health, fight the infection. I was told they couldn't take the teeth out because I might not survive the goddamn operation, which was ridiculous. All right. Took the medicine with antibiotics, wrecked my fucking stomach. Caused a new problem now. To heal one thing, wrecked something else that I now have problems with. So it's like fixing one thing. It's like biting your hand to feed your face. Whatever. Gave up the battle with the company. Gave up. Not worth it. Wasn't strong enough to go in the courtroom battling for years. I know I didn't do anything wrong. The customer knew. Everybody knew. Everybody loved me. Customers loved me. I was so nice helping everybody, and I didn't take shit also too, and always protect my people. Always a workaholic. That's why I guess I took offense with certain keywords and stuff Noel said, because I was busting my ass. I work too much. That's the problem. But I'm always working. Always trying to support and put money on the table and do things. Only thing now is I don't look good. I look horrible. I can't even. I know I don't look good. I see it on their videos. They're right. I know. It would be thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. It's not even a simple, like 49,000 or some shit. It's not a simple thing. Have to rip everything out. Have to heal. Have to suffer for nothing because it's so bad, and then put implants in because I can't put dentures in faces going to be like this. Going to look like Bobby Heenan when he was older, right? So I don't want that. So, at the point I am now, the coverage I have is just not. I can't remove this because they may not even be able to afford other stuff. So I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with ugly nature towards sorry guys. And again, I when I make a video, I know what I look like. I know. I see it every day, man. You think I like looking at that? We get older. I can't repair it at the moment. But I will repair it. You think I'm doing gaming to be a selfish prick? You think I'm trying to be all these achievements because I'm a selfish prick? No. I want to make the money to fix this problem. I want to get high enough in the rankings so I can fix this problem because I don't want to look at this. I mean, that wasn't always the case. I just wanted to be number one, just to show to my kids I could be. But now more than ever, that's what I want. To get rich, not for fucking rich and fame, but I want to fix this. Look, I felt a lot of different things with people. I never like it when I feel I'm betrayed. And I always feel there's ways to go about doing things. When I was doing podcasts with different things with people could have just left the Real Houdins cast, and I would have just supported them 100,000,000%. I would have promoted them. I would have been on their podcast. I would have helped another friend. It wasn't about this image that they created in Matrix Legends. It wasn't ever about that. I always encourage people to make videos and stupid stuff like that. It's the thing I don't like is the let's destroy Matrix Lord 2 and 2 to rise shit that I never, ever tolerated. You want to leave, you can leave. You want to do your own thing, I will support you. But don't, I have a rule on my show. If you disrespect the host or you disrespect me, I'm the host, or if you disrespect my group, like, you're gone. So if I had, you know, people in the show that were disrespecting someone, they'd be gone. You know, I had that rule. I always had that rule. But there was a long time ago, there was a thing called the Hoovian 2-4 that was created from a misunderstanding in a group text where David Aston was drunk and stuff that I said. I'm like telling Sammy that there were trolls in his group starting shit. I never said that he was a troll. I never said his actual group was a troll. I said there was people in his thing that were causing problems. And David Aston was drunk and he convinced Sammy to strike my fucking channel down. And I did everything for Sammy Carter. I went all over New York filming for his channel, promoting his channel, creating shows for his channel. Created Prime U. I'm like, oh, you're the host of Prime U. Who Harmony created that name, created stuff for him. This is you. I'm proud of you, bro. I was so close with Sammy. So fucking close. Like a brother. So close with all my people. When I did the Hoobings podcast, I said, I don't want to host them all. I want people to host it. Let Dr. Freedom host. Let Sammy host. Let people take turns host. I didn't have an ego. And Dr. Freedom hosted a Hoobings podcast. And then he called it Omega Files. And then he went on and did his own thing, Omega Files. And Sammy went off and did his thing, Who Harmony. I was always about promoting my friends. And always trying to help my friends. And was very loyal to all my people. And I appreciate Michael Shannon and all of them for everything they've contributed to the Real Hoovians. And they could have just left and done their thing. I don't like the bullshit that they created. Like they created a name. I created a name in my limo because I was trying to have something similar to the Hoovian podcast. So, Real Hoovians. Meaning like, you know, we're the Real Hoovians podcast. We're the real, this is it. The Real Hoovians. I created the name. Nobody else created the name. People may think they created a name. I created the name. I said it in my limo when I was doing my book thing. And I understand, like with me and Noel battling that in anger people just say crazy fucking shit, you know. But I didn't like what happened. I didn't like from the David Aston misunderstanding and Sammy striking my channel. I go to do Rehobians, and then all of a sudden I can't do a podcast for the first time. And I'm like, wait, what? Because I've never had a problem with my channel. And I was close to a milestone at the time. And I was really, that was when I was really trying with my channel, like really trying. Now I'm not really trying, but I was trying to get to this point, and then a misunderstanding screwed it up. And then, of course, because I was so enraged, I retaliated to Sammy, and I said, well, if you're going to strike my channel wrongfully, then any video I ever made for you, you're using now without my permission, so you got to remove it. He didn't remove it, and I struck his channel then. And then everybody's battling then. Then the people that were from my group that were going to do their own, they used that as an opportunity to try to destroy me too. Oh, Matrix Lord 2 and 2 is attacking Sammy. No, Sammy attacked me first. and he was tricked. And then, of course, Louis and Jack and all the Carter Empire trolled me, attacked me. It was goddamn fucking ridiculous. The Hoovy Tube war. I mean, even Connor was against me at one point. Connor had given a negative review of my book to make it personal. James, post office boy, then James Smith, whatever. He biggest troll. He fucking everybody's attacking everybody. It was a goddamn war like you wouldn't believe. And then they created fake accounts of me. Jacob got involved. He was trolling. This one was trolling. They went after the female members. Then the female members couldn't be seen anymore on my cast, and they had to change their name to protect themselves. Jacob put people on Tinder. Ridiculous. And then Anton Resident, which was Kate. Everybody just goddamn. At the end of the day, I lost 400 subscribers, and I got. Sammy had flagged. I was going for the Guinness Book of World Records, and I was going to get the Guinness Book of World Records for the most videos done about Doctor Who consecutively every single day. I had ridiculous. I was getting it, and because he struck that second episode down, YouTube removed it forever because I put his name in the title. And I remember it was just a video where I'm like, oh, Sammy, Cold War and Carter. Like, I just, Sammy Carter or whatever, and I put his name in the title. You're not allowed to have real names. That's why I knew when Noel's showing my name, Joseph J. Capotoso, they don't allow that because I know I lost my video because of that. So that's why I knew that could have flagged because that's wrong. So it was just, at the end of the day, when everything was said and done, there was me left standing. There was Dr. Freedom left standing. Dr. Freedom was in his corner. I'm in my corner. The Whovians were disbanded. And I think they went on to Geeks Assembled or whatever. Or I think the guy Geeks Assembled was best friends with Michael Shannon or whatever. And there was bad blood there between me and him because he never wanted me to be part of Doctor Who forums because he didn't like me when I had the real Whovians and when Michael Shannon was in my show. So he always started shit with me, never liked me, and even now attacking me. At the end of the day, you know what? It's just fucking crazy shit. All the shit that happened. And then I had people that come on my show that would really try to take over. Like really try to push me negative. Like Mike D. And really try to push me to be unrecognizable almost. You know, darker. And then thank God I saw through that, and that was the end of that. But I did become a real jerk at times back then. You know. And then recently I saw you know, I mean I try to keep in touch with people here and there. I was very, very sad to hear that Beef had lost his dad, and I give my condolences. Just like when Tim lost people, I sent him a message. You know, Jimmy wasn't doing too good. I sent him a message, or David Aston sent him a message, and tried to be nice. I didn't know where Michael Shannon was to talk to him. I'm glad he's back. I don't have any will against him. I was doing a joke at Sky Havoc, calling out Pissy, but that's like a joke, meaning I'm kind of happy he's back. You know, whether he likes me or not, I don't care. He's like a brother to me, so I do love him like a brother, even though people disagree. I don't like what they did, but I still have love. You know, that's it. Sammy had came back a couple weeks ago on a thing about Twitch with his gaming, and I told him flat out, I'm like, I love you like a brother, bro. I miss you. I wish you came back to Doctor Who, you know? And it's so weird. It's like I was always a gamer, you know. And then maybe it's a subconscious thing. I wanted to get Sammy Carter's attention. I don't know, because he's a gamer. So if I was a top gamer, he would have to see me. Maybe, who knows? But it was like that's a little thing in the side too. But I wish him well. I wish Michael Shannon well. Happy for Graham doing his stuff on TikTok. It's amazing. You know, what everybody's doing. You know. I don't like how things went down. It was crazy, but you know what? I respect them all. I don't like things what Dr. Freedom did. At times, in the way he went about doing it, or trying to take members of my group and stuff like that. You know, because he was doing pages, my doctor pages and stuff, but you know, he decided to do things his way, whatever. But I do like these people, even though I don't agree with attacking me and what they said. I do watch Dr. Freedom every morning. I respect. Like, he may see me as an enemy. I don't see him as an enemy, but I don't believe. I don't agree with him about his doctor stuff, but I watch him out of respect every morning, just like I eat every morning. So I have said that, and I know some members of mine didn't like me saying that, but I tell the truth, you know. And I do watch Noel stuff. I don't agree with everything, but I do agree with some things. But a lot of years on YouTube, 2011. So sorry, guys, allergies. So there's some people that have said stuff about me. Matrix Love dying. Matrix Love dying. No, I don't have cancer. No, I'm not dying. Although, a couple months ago, when I was doing the Riverwinds cast, I had some fucking idiots in the medical thing had told me that my life expectancy went down severely and freaked me out when I thought it was over. But it wasn't. I want everybody to help me and be there for me, and Scott too. Why are you giving up writing? Why are you giving up this? Why are you giving up that? If you are dying, wouldn't you want to do what you want until the end? You're right. But I'm not, because I got second opinion, third opinion. Totally not. And things are getting repaired. And things are getting better. So, whether you like me or not, that's fine. I do agree about the appearance. Can't change that. That's it. Alright, enough. Take care, bye for now.